The number 10 pick in the 2022 NBA draft, Johnny Davis heading to Washington. Locked On Wizards. Ed Oliver joins us now. And obviously, we have been seeing all kinds of random things happening tonight. Davis may be going a little higher than some had expected. What was your immediate reaction when you heard about the pick?
I feel like the Wizards got a dog. Tommy Shepard said he was looking for dogs and he wants dogs in the draft, and I feel like they got one. They got a guy who's a two-way player, who's a legitimate scorer, a legitimate mid-range scorer, a Big Ten Player of the Year. Had a game against Purdue where he had 37 points and 14 rebounds, 8.5 rebounds per game as a 6'5" shooting guard. Great mid-range scorer, can play with both hands. And I thought the Wizards got a good pick, and he has his own Taco Bell commercial as well.
Oh, that says it all, right? If you're down with Taco Bell, then you're probably good to go. We're going to bring in our national guys, Richard Stayman, Leaf Tulane from Locked On NBA Big Board, just to get their perspective on things. Richard, this is someone that was on different places on different boards. How can he have an impact right out of the gate here at the next level?
Yeah, the Wizards were definitely looking for people that could impact Bradley Beal and help be a rotation player right away. They want a free agent pickup, essentially, somebody that has the same impact. And with Johnny Davis, he's somebody who he overplayed his role at Wisconsin. He was somebody who he had to do everything. He had to be the best defender, the best passer, and the best scorer. That will not be the case in Washington. You're going to see him in a much lesser role and be great in that minimal role. And I think that's huge for Washington. That's huge for Davis. I think it's a best case scenario for both parties.
Ed, you mentioned Washington needs dogs out there. So what kind of role can he come off the bench and play for this team? Where do you kind of see him, and how is he going to fit in on this team?
So he is going to be a backup two guard, which is going to be different for him. Now, the interesting thing is that Adrian Woj tweeted out that Johnny Davis was going to be he said that the Wizards drafted point guard Johnny Davis. So, and the Wizards need a point guard really, really badly. And he did not play point guard at Wisconsin, but he had a lot of playmaking responsibilities and duties that he had to do. A lot of the time the play was to give the ball to Johnny Davis and just get out of the way. But his is going to be different because if he is out there with Bradley Beal, he probably will have to be a 3-and-D off-ball guy where he's going to have to knock down threes and knock down shots, where he shot 30% from the three-point line. So that is going to be the swing skill for him. But I do see him right now coming off the bench behind Bradley Beal right now, and he can learn a lot from Bradley Beal playing under him. He's going to have to, a lot of people compare him to Josh Hart, but he is going to be a great defender at the point of attack. He plays at 100. He plays with 110% intensity. He's a great rebounder, a great defender. He gets in the passing lanes a lot. You watch his tape. He has a lot of steals and fast breaks and fast break dunks. So I think he can really help on the defensive end. But I think his role right now, instead of him just getting the ball and be an isolation scorer, he is going to have to start off being a 3-and-D shooting guard / small forward to start off for the Washington Wizards. And we'll see if he does play a little bit of point guard with the second unit.
For sure. Leaf, when you see a player like this who's kind of changed throughout his time at Wisconsin, what kind of role do you see him having at the next level, and kind of what's an immediate impact? Was this the right pick for Washington?
Yeah, I think the Wizards are one team that Johnny Davis is uniquely situated to thrive in the system. I think that he's a scoring guard that needed a situation to be as the primary operator of a second unit, meaning he could be the lead scorer of that second unit. He could also play alongside Brad Beal and be a defensive focus. I actually tended to be a bit lower on Johnny Davis, but I thought that the one team that would pick him and allow him to score, as a lot of prognosticators thought he could, was the Wizards, because he could develop under Bradley Beal with low stakes and then run the second unit and try to score there, rather than be just a 3-and-D guy where he could be pigeonholed in a lot of other teams that were picking around there because they had the focal points in different units. And I think that Johnny Davis is set to take on a bigger role for the Wizards than I expected for him to do anywhere else. I compared him to Josh Hart, which is funny that Ed brought that up. I thought that he's got a 3-and-D potential with athletic ability, good rebounder, and I think he can be a 12 to 15 point scorer both in the short term and in the long term, especially if he develops under Bradley Beal to become more than just 12 to 15, as well as the plus defensive rebounding. And that's a good pick by the Wizards fit-wise.
Ed, after the Wizards have made their pick, they've made this selection now. So what additions do they also need to make, roster moves going forward now that they've already made their pick?
they still really need a point guard. Tomas Satoransky signed with Barcelona. They just don't have a point guard. We traded away Spencer Dinwiddie to the Dallas Mavericks. That didn't work out. We tried to have him as a point guard next to Bradley Beal. They only have one point guard under contract, and that's Ishmael Smith, and his contract's not even guaranteed for next season. So point guard is a huge need right now for the Washington Wizards, and they still need some wings. They still need some depth there at the wing position, some guys to help out and play defense. So point guard is probably priority number one for the Washington Wizards.
Very good. Now, as to what Johnny Davis is going to bring to this team, our local expert, Locked On Badgers, Ryan Herrings, joins us with a little bit of insight into what he will bring to the Wizards.
Vanguard University of Wisconsin, one of the best two-way wings in all of college basketball last season. My name is Ryan Herrings, host of Locked On Badgers, and with Johnny Davis, you are getting an incredibly unique offensive player with the ability to hit tough mid-range shots, get to the rim, get to the free throw line, excellent in transition, and a sneaky playmaker that has a little shade of Devin Booker in his offensive game if you look close enough. Tenacious rebounder, led the Big Ten in defensive rebounding as a guard, which speaks to his intangibles and his ability to just get after it. You are getting one of the highest floor players in the entire draft with an offensive upside to make him a star in the NBA.